Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports Podcast, where we BS about sports. Heavy NFL week this week, boys. Week one. Hell yeah. Football's here.
Finally, it happens.
So exciting. So let's get started with Bills Rams. Bills beat the Rams 31-10.
Handily. Von Miller was huge.
Huge.
Huge in that game.
Absolutely. Yeah, like that dude looked 10 years younger.
He did.
He was ready to get him, man.
Yeah.
He was ready to get his old team.
Bad news for the rest of the AFC.
One of my favorite moments was when Chris Collinsworth sitting there and he's talking up the left tackle for the Rams, and while he's getting owned by Von Miller. Like,
yeah,
he is actively getting beat on that play, and he's like, oh, he's so good. Like, he's going to be just fine. They're not going to miss a beat.
They missed a couple.
Yeah.
Chris Collinsworth must know that dude or something.
Yeah.
Because
it was bad.
It was.
The Rams looked pretty terrible, but it's week one, so I don't think that what the Rams look like right now is what they're going to look like in December. But it was pretty terrible. The Bills looked really good. A little sloppy at first, but once they stopped turning the ball over and cleaned all that up in the second half, they're unstoppable.
Second half they were great. The opening drive they were really good, but that little bit in between was rough.
Yeah, you can't turn the ball over like that many times,
And had the
Josh Allen look scary as ever too.
Right.
Josh Allen 26-31, 297, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions,
1 on the ground.
But look at how much did he run for too?
So 56 yards and a TD.
I think he was their leading rusher and passer. So
not by much, to give Devin Singletary a little bit of credit, but
and Moss played well as well also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I saw some crazy stat that the Bills are the first team to turn the ball over 4 more times and still win.
Dang. Did they turn the ball over 4 times?
Or in this century?
I think like 3. Yeah, Moss had done fumbled once too, so that's crazy.
I mean, you usually don't win if you turn the ball over 4 times.
I will disagree with you a little bit on the Rams. I think the Rams have a couple areas that they do need to panic on. Number one being their corner, Jalen Ramsey.
He's had a bad 5 games.
Press the panic button on Jalen Ramsey.
Last 4 games have been abysmal.
That burnt toast meme.
Says it all.
Yep.
The other one is Stafford. The elbow issue is clearly real. There were multiple people tweeting mid-game that his throwing motion looked different. A lot of those balls not have any kind of zip on them.
Matthew Stafford went.
I think that's something else to watch.
Matthew Stafford went 29 of 41, 240, 1 TD, and 3 interceptions.
He just did not stop throwing the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Stafford's had some of those games before. Stafford's a gunslinger. He's going to throw that ball a lot.
He definitely likes to take chances.
I think their biggest issue on their passing game was how obvious it was. Like, they threw to Cooper Kupp every goddamn time.
Yeah, there was no
41 times. 20 of those targets were to fucking Cooper Kupp. Like, you knew what they were doing every single goddamn time. It wasn't like...
So Cooper Kupp was targeted 15 times.
Yeah.
13 of those he caught for 128 and a TD.
I get it, because he does that when you target him that many times.
Yeah.
But
I think the total targets for the rest of the team was like 3 or 4.
But it seemed like Matt Stafford, that's all he could really do. And
Higbee had 11 targets. He only caught 5.
Oh, that's right. They started throwing to Higbee.
And then it drops on Henderson Jr. He had 5 targets.
Well,
but I think the stat was amongst their wide receivers.
Oh yeah.
So they looked a little one-dimensional on offense.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And that O line's just
Horrendous.
horrendous.
Well, and going back and watching tape, Allen Robinson was not the problem. Jared Goff was the problem. Or sorry, Matt Stafford.
Jared Goff.
There was one play in the fourth quarter where Stafford threw it up in the end zone for Allen Robinson.
That was literally the last play of the game.
And he's walking off Stafford's walking off, and you see him looking at Sean McVay. And if you read his lips, he's like, he doesn't even try. He didn't go for it. He didn't even try to go for the ball. Talking about Allen Robinson's effort.
Well, at that point in the game, although it did look like Allen Robinson at times was not given the fullest of benefits.
Yeah. And Bears fans were quick to hop on that bandwagon, and they say, oh, he's already in prime 2021 form.
Ooh, okay.
The game
So
tape-
I didn't know
game
this was
tape
a
says
thing with
different.
him.
That dude was open all game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he's been, so he's probably frustrated. He's probably very frustrated with,
I mean, he probably saw the
Stafford
game
not
plan,
looking as
and
whatever.
this seems like it was a game plan built to glorify last year's Super Bowl winner
Yeah, and you know
players,
what?
and it didn't really
Um,
put any shine on the new guys.
And fuck you, Sean McVay, because some people own Cannon Acres in fantasy,
Some people
and
Allen
that
Robinson.
hurt real fucking bad. It hurt real
Yeah.
bad.
That was
Hey,
hurtful what he did to Cam Akers owners.
Sam, I'm just saying I have their actual starting running back.
Well, you had their week 1 starting running back. Their next week,
You never know.
Sam's going to bench
You
Cam
never
Akers,
know.
and so is the rest of the world.
And
So Cam
yeah,
Akers
and
will have a
then
huge day.
he's gonna have a giant game, and then I'm gonna put in fucking the Bills wide receivers.
Davis.
Gabe Davis, and he's gonna get like 3 targets, 25 yards.
Hey, that's still better than what Cam
what's gonna
Akers
happen.
did for you.
And it's fantasy for you.
And I'll lose again.
All right, so let's move off that game. Let's go into today's first game we're talking about. P's favorite Eagles beating the
Oh,
Lions.
It was way closer than it should have been, probably.
Yeah, but I see
Mhm.
a lot of the Lions games ending that way, where you say about the other team that beat them that it was way closer than it should have been.
Yeah, that's just kind of the Lions thing. The
Yeah.
Lions thing is like, oh, we're gonna do bad, but then we're gonna catch up at the end and
They're nice.
almost get there.
A
Mhm.
scrappy team, but I was happy with what I saw out of Jalen Hurts out there. I mean,
Yeah,
he fitting the ball in tight windows.
it's
AJ
Yeah,
Brown
lots
was a
of
focal
plays.
point. I would have liked to see Devonta Smith utilized or targeted more often.
Hey man,
And
I love the AJ Brown targets. Those
Oh,
are great.
not as a non-fantasy.
Oh
you know,
well, that only helped a
implications.
little.
I would just
But-
like to see more balance in the passing attack, but I'm happy that AJ had the debut he did. It was awesome in the run game. The backs played great.
He's a new
Mhm.
guy.
Every
So,
4 different players had rushing touchdowns. Love it.
So
Yeah,
let's
you like to
go
see
over a
that.
couple of stats. Jalen went 18 for 32, 243, no throwing TDs.
Yeah.
Then you had 4 rushing touchdowns. Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott all scored a rushing TD. AJ Brown had 10 receptions for 155. And then as Pete was saying, Devonta Smith only had 4 targets.
What a great acquisition. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a huge.
AJ
Yeah,
Brown.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown was that's
huge.
nuts. And
Great
he's
pick.
already showing it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
You'd probably like to see Jalen Hurts be a little more accurate. You want the completion percentage to come up a little.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
he wasn't making mistakes.
I mean,
and really, that's if he's not making. He went out there, had kind of I don't want to say a pedestrian game, but I mean, he had a pretty average game. Aside from the rushing yards, he excels there, and they still scored 38 points.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're leading your
I think
offense,
Jalen really just has to not fuck it up, and the Eagles are going to go far.
yeah, and if you're
Yeah.
leading your offense to that many points, who fucking cares how many you're
Yeah.
actually having to throw? Like, fuck it.
yeah,
You scored
it's
38
not like
points.
Tim Tebow offense, where
Yeah.
you're
Right.
getting some wins, but you're sneaking them out in the fourth quarter when you're down.
Because Tebow.
Yeah. I mean, at least from game one, it looks like Jalen Hurts is making good decisions
Mhm.
Yeah.
with
And
the
it-
ball.
I think it was evident that he has improved in aspects of his game
Mm.
as well, and that's a big thing because I mean, every year you see that out of Jalen Hurts, even dating back to Alabama. He just seems to pick up on things and learn and get better and
Yeah,
grow.
He's
So
starting to elevate his game a little, man.
yeah,
But I mean, it's the Lions, so
yeah.
I don't
DeAndre
know
Swift
how much
had,
you can take from it, but it's still
hey, Swift had a great game today.
decent win.
144 yards, 1 TD.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really
Had-
good.
opened the game with like a 50-yard run.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, man, those Lions
mean-
never give up either. Those
Yeah.
Lions never give
Dude.
up, and some teams forget that during the game when they're blowing them out,
Yeah.
and then the Lions crawl back and
they're right back there.
usually don't pull it out, but they make it good. They
Yeah,
make it, they cover the spread probably. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Was that in Detroit?
Yes, that was Motor City.
I couldn't remember.
So let's move on to the next one. We had the Bears beating the 49ers 19-10.
okay, first real upset here.
Yeah.
Like
upset of the day.
Yeah, I mean they were playing in a goddamn swimming pool.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
were, they
Yeah,
were. I mean, but
At
still,
one point during that live broadcast, I mean, the camera was so wet you could barely see the field.
barely see what's
Yeah, you
happening.
can see the field. I'm gonna hold off judgment on both of these teams based on that, but I will say, yeah, it
Okay.
was not an impressive day from debut.
Either.
I will
Lance.
say, yeah, because I mean, both young quarterbacks, right, going at it, playing in tough terrain, and Fields did look better than
Lance. Yeah,
Lance for sure.
I will.
And with these conditions, though, I'm looking at these conditions, thinking these both kind of play into these teams' play style, right? More defensive, I would say.
Yeah.
And kind of run heavy teams.
Yeah,
But I thought the 49ers, they're the better team. So this should play into your strengths more with these conditions and probably hurt you less, if that makes sense.
well, I think where it fell apart for the Niners is they also rely a lot on speed. And
That's true.
but
Can't
yeah,
do
with
that.
the field being the way it was, I think speed was a non-factor today.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
That's true. That's true. But I saw him do it, last year in the snow at Lambeau. So I thought,
Yeah.
I
I guess you can move a little.
With
It is different. You can move a little faster, but still, you're in a snowstorm.
you've
it's
got a
hard
lot
to
more
do.
resistance, like trying to pull your foot up out of a half inch or a half a foot of water.
Yeah,
Half a
that-
foot,
like,
yeah.
that was
There
crazy.
were seriously like an inch of water on that ground.
Yeah, it was
It
insane.
More
was-
people
they were
didn't get
ankle
hurt.
deep in that shit. Like it was.
I mean, it wasn't it, but it was splashing up.
It was
Splashing up every time they stepped.
So let's go over a couple of stats that stand out. Trey Lance went 13 of 28 for 164, 0 TDs, 1 interception. Fields on the other side of the ball, 8 of 17, 121, 2 TDs and an interception.
A little
I
better.
mean, he only threw the ball 17 times.
Yeah, but in a day like this.
Oh,
conditions-
exactly.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to judge either team.
No, it's
Yeah,
hard
it's
to
too hard.
in such a wet game,
Yeah, it's hard to even see him playing.
I mean,
So
throw
It
a
is.
throw two
But I
teams in
will-
a swimming pool and you'd probably get a similar
But give-
outcome. So
Give the Bears
mean,
their
hey-
credit for new head coach, right? And
Yeah, I say good on the Bears. They stole one.
they
Yeah.
did. Hey, they played
That's a
tough and
straight
they
up
came back in that game. Good for them. Yeah, it's week 1. We'll see how much it actually means.
yeah, for sure. San Fran's rushing. Trey Lance was their leader at 54 rushing yards. Debo had 52, so not much less, 1 TD. On the other side, we had Khalil Herbert was Chicago's leading rusher, 45 yards. Fields was tied, or he had
David
2 more
Montgomery.
yards than David Montgomery.
should have been
20,
Montgomery.
26. Yeah, it should be Montgomery. He's their starting.
There's a
running back,
two-headed
so.
monster there in the
Bullshit.
backfield in Chicago. Not looking good for David Montgomery fantasy owner.
You try to get out of the life of having Miles Gaskins as your starting running back, and then you end up with David Montgomery.
I feel bad for anybody who has to go play a Soldier Field this year.
Yeah,
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like David Montgomery every other week.
All right, what's the next game?
So the next game's that we're talking about is the first overtime game we had. It was one that we were all closely watching together.
Yeah.
Steelers taking one from the Bengals in overtime, 23-20.
That was
Couple of
closer to
doinkers we
showtime.
had, missed
Oh my
field
God.
goals. I mean,
Blocked extra points.
lots
Well,
of turnovers.
Yeah, the Bengals really shouldn't have been in
Special
any kind of position to win that game.
No. Yeah, we were all talking about that the whole
No.
time.
Yeah.
Like you don't have 5 turnovers and still somehow pull out a win.
pull right. And it was a combination of the Steelers offense needing to be way better, obviously. Trubisky, not the answer there, and those Kenny Pickett chants are going to start getting loud.
Yeah.
Especially if your team is having to fight for these wins, and it seems like it could be easier if your quarterback was a little
To be
better.
fair, he did go and do that on the road.
He did. He did. They did get the win, right?
Steel
So that's
City.
what matters. I guess
Yeah, it's a
the
division
screams
game
aren't
on
going
the
to get too
road.
loud if you're winning.
And now you also have to weigh like, okay, what kind of year are we gonna have? Because they're probably not gonna have TJ Watt for the year. So
Do you want to put your QB out, your future out there?
yeah, they don't have the best O line, but on job experience is good.
Yeah.
So
So
There-
here we got some stats. Mitch went 21 of 38, 194, 1 TD. I mean 194 yards and 38
Yeah,
attempts.
like
A little low.
that's my
Pretty
thing. Like
pedestrian.
Trubisky is not going to do anything super exciting out there.
No.
no, he doesn't.
Whereas
The
I
best-
think Kenny Pickett can.
Exactly. The best Mitch is going to do is game manage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And put up stuff like that. But Pickett, he could be a guy that can win you games, can put the team on his shoulder, when the other team doesn't give you the ball 5 times. Right? When you have
Right.
to keep up a little bit offensively.
yeah.
I don't know if Mitch is that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that O line for
How much rope does Trubisky have?
I don't know.
I
I think
think
a little bit.
They're
Tomlin's
gonna give him a few
pretty
games, I
level-headed.
think. I know he did
absolutely.
say all year, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be a few, I think 4 or 5 games if it
and-
looks like this again.
But as long as they're ultimately winning, it's tough to pull a
Yeah.
guy, right?
It's worth
As long as you're
keeping-
ultimately winning, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
again,
worth keeping an eye on their depth chart to see how quickly Pickett goes from 3 to 2.
I think he is too already.
Did he move up to 2? Because they had him
well,
listed at 3 last I had seen.
They asked Tomlin about that, and he just said there was a clerical error, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Pickett
okay.
is that too.
So Joe Burrow, Joe Cool, went 33 of 53, 338, 2 TDs, and 4 interceptions.
Yeah, and a lost fumble.
And a lost fumble. Yeah, his QBR was 42.1.
Wow,
Yeah.
you can throw it 300 some yards and still have a 42.1 QPR.
Yeah, the 4 interceptions. I mean,
Yeah,
he was under duress the majority of the game.
He
Oh,
was.
yeah.
That O line
yeah.
still looks a little
The additions
sus.
did not look to beef it up the way I thought they would.
And still, put
So, I
his
mean,
team in a position to win at the end of the game,
Yeah.
right? Like
They the extra point cost them.
Yeah.
it's week 1, right?
So crazy.
Things happen in week 1, and this is a weird thing.
Because their long snapper got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that Steelers Bengals was kind of the perfect week 1 game.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was.
it really
Yeah.
was.
It was a
It
fun game to
reminded-
watch.
Oh,
It reminded
so
me
fun.
of the Steelers win against the Bills last year in week 1. When you're like, damn, the Steelers just pulled off a win on the Bills. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But by the end of the year, there's no way the Steelers are beating the Bills.
Which by the way, TJ Watt, they're hoping it's only a partial pectoral tear.
Yeah.
He may come back sometime this season.
The rumor is 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah.
Which
He was
sucks
he
to
was such a
see,
huge
'cause
part of
he was-
everything the Steelers did today.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah, he
was.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he tore him up.
yeah,
He
that dude was
absolutely tore him
terrifying.
up.
Yeah.
I don't think the Steelers win that game without TJ
Oh no,
No,
he
absolutely don't.
snagged one of those interceptions from
Did.
like 2
Oh
feet
yeah,
away,
from
you know,
just
and almost
hold
had
it
another
on.
one earlier.
Yeah, he had a couple other batted down balls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have
So-
his stats, Tim, for the day?
TJ's, let's look here. TJ Watt had 6 solo tackles, a sack, 3 tackles for loss,
And an
and
interception.
an interception. One QB hit.
Yeah, and
Which, I
every
mean-
every sack, like he was the
Mate,
next guy
He's
there.
gonna win
Oh
defensive
yeah.
player of the week. You know, on
Yeah.
on the 1 week he played.
The only other like big
interception, 3 tackles for losses, like that's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
The only other real big standout in the game was Jamar Chase. He had 10 receptions, 129, 1 TD.
Yeah,
That TD was nice too.
Yeah.
should have
That
had 2,
TD.
right?
Should have
Should've
had.
had 2.
Yeah, let's talk about that catch that even the,
The
NFL
Bengals-
officiating came back and said confirmed would have been a
Yeah.
touchdown.
That's like the NFL officiating's favorite thing to do. It's like
Yeah.
after something doesn't get challenged, they're like, "Oh, you should have fucking challenged.
You should have
that
challenged
one.
that.
But
We would have given you that one."
We tried
I
to
wanna-
give you guys the game earlier.
I
or
wanna
at the
know
end
how-
of it, so.
I want to know how in 2022 you don't have at least one guy that can instantly buzz
Everybody
directly to the
does.
coach.
I thought
Yeah.
they did. How do you not? It looked like a touchdown live. Like
From
we all
any
thought that
angle,
was a
it looked like
touchdown.
touchdown.
Yeah,
And they're
From
like,
every angle.
no, short. And I was like, well, look at it at least.
Yeah, at least.
yeah. I was like,
Well,
"Oh, the
what
Bengals will
people run
slow
for
roll it," and no, they lined up quick and went for it.
They
And
lined
why
up.
wasn't Jamar Chase
Are you
protesting?
trying to catch
harder?
him off guard?
Like,
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, he should have spoke up at least, but they did that quick, they tried to do that quick run and it just got stuffed.
Stuff.
yeah, a lot of bad choices out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So let's move on into the next game. We had Pats losing to the Dolphins 20-7. We all kind of saw this coming, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, except for me because I
Except
picked
for
Pats,
Sam.
but I knew it was a bad pick when I picked it.
You did, and you did claim that.
Yeah.
You said you didn't believe it, but you wanted to give us
Yeah.
another game to go off of. So
Yeah,
And the Pats are gonna be bad this year.
yeah,
It didn't
it's
look impressive.
not looking great.
Pats are gonna be real bad.
So speaking of, let's
It's
go
not even
over-
like they've got a bunch of they've got dudes injured that are coming back. Like that's their team.
Oh yeah.
No, that's it.
That's how it's gonna look.
That's that. Yeah, the Pats ain't for real.
So Mac Jones went 21 of 30, 213 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Their leading rusher was Damian Harris with 48 yards. Leading reception, our receiver was 4 receptions for 55. I mean, it just wasn't going well on offense.
Oh,
for
and Mac
Phil.
wasn't
He
making
was
good.
21 of 30.
21 of 30.
I mean, that's actually a decent completion percentage.
Completion percentage.
Which I mean,
How
he
many
always
yards?
has, but
Okay,
I mean, but-
so do you want to hear
it's only
his,
10 yards of fucking reception.
his rating was 87.2, but his QBR was 9.7.
Yeah. I mean, he was
Yeah.
that throw to Devontae Parker where he threw like the jump ball downfield whenever he could have just simply laid it out in front of him.
Well, we talked
At
about that one,
position.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that one
Is that the
was
one that was in triple coverage?
no, it
Yeah.
ended up netting a
It's-
penalty, I want to say, but no, it didn't. It was just a bad.
Didn't it?
Yeah,
It was just a bad throw. He
No,
threw it
it's bad
behind
throw.
his guy,
He
but
threw
too
it
high
up.
at the same
He just
time.
thrown it. His guy had this defender boxed out.
Yeah, it
He
was.
just
Yeah,
thrown it right to him there.
Like I think the offensive coordinator is just pulling plays out of a hat.
What offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
What
What a
they don't
offensive-
they don't have one of those, my guy. They don't. They Bill
I mean,
Belichick.
somebody's doing it. Bill won't really say who's doing it, but somebody's
Matt
calling those
Patricia,
plays.
I think was the first.
They don't have anybody officially as their offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
So
but I think Matt Patricia they said was calling in plays.
that's
Or,
that's
know.
wild.
yeah,
It's wild. If
they're
that-
just keeping that spot
Yeah.
vacant until Josh McDaniels loses his job with the Raiders.
won't be long.
Yeah.
You're- It'll be
Yeah.
a couple rough years here, Bill, and then you'll get your boy back.
Yeah,
Yeah, those Raiders didn't look great today.
So the other side of the ball, we had Miami. Tua went 23 of 33 for 270, 1 TD, no interceptions.
Not bad.
Their rushing game had
Mhm.
7 rushers, including Tua, but their highest yardage for a rushing was Chase Edmonds with 25. But they had 7 guys running the ball, but it's 25, 16, 8, 8, 8, 6, 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, when you have those receivers, like you're not trying to run the ball that much.
no.
That's true.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tyreek had
And they
8
did-
receptions for 94 yards, 0 TDs. Waddle had 4 receptions, 69 yards, nice with 1 TD. I mean, you know, they spread the ball out. He had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different receivers caught a ball.
And I mean, in this game, it's you're just you're not trying to. They controlled it the whole time, right?
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
where
I mean, they didn't really have their foot
beating
on.
the
They never
brakes
really
off
put
them.
their foot on the Pats' throats, but they were just kind of in control.
Yeah, it never felt. Whenever we'd see it, it never felt like it was in question.
Yeah, but
Right.
I think that had a lot more to do with the Pats not being able to get anything done.
Yeah.
Right.
The
But hey,
offense
credit
was
to
doing
the
that.
Dolphins defense.
Yeah, Dolphins defense played a lot better. Because I
Played
mean, the
well,
Dolphins
yeah.
defense also scored 7 of those points with
Hey, our boy Ingram
Ingram.
had a
Yeah.
fumble recovery for a touchdown.
So the Dolphins offense put up 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the
Not
Pats
what I
should
expected
be
out
the
of their
one-
offense.
But
the
I mean,
Pats
they didn't really
defense
need
should be
to.
the one
Yeah.
good.
They didn't need to put up more, so
No, they just needed to not fuck up, and they
did
they
that.
didn't really fuck up.
I
so
mean, maybe the Patriots defense is just way better than we thought because
it should be.
I heard
decent.
that Tua was better than Patrick Mahomes
That's what I heard too.
from Tyreek.
Multiple sources.
Next.
All right. Next game we had
Browns.
what was supposed to be Baker Mayfield's revenge game. Carolina Panthers losing to the Browns 26-24.
I mean, Baker had a good fourth quarter.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, Baker only went 16 to 27, 235, 1 TD, 1 interception.
yeah, and I mean,
How many carries did CMC get?
10 for 33
What
yards
the fuck?
and
Yeah.
a TD.
What are you
that
doing?
TD was on a
But he only, I
busted
mean,
snap.
he only got 33 yards off them 10 snaps.
They only handed the ball off 19 times. Well,
Yeah.
no, that's not even handoffs. That's attempted carries because Baker had 5 that probably weren't supposed to be runs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they throw it to CMC at all? Like, you gotta get
CMC had 4 receptions for 24 yards.
So
So
Okay.
he had 14
We're
touches.
used to, but hey, it's his first game back. He was injured. Let's give him
Yeah.
some time. Run CMC
Maybe-
will be back.
yeah, maybe it's better to give him low.
Well, did he not participate in camp at all?
I think he did. Yeah,
I think he was there for most of it.
it's just better. I mean, we've seen it before. He gets a lot of touches early on, and he's not available late.
Yeah.
So maybe manage him early and
Yeah.
have him when you need him. But
Well, man, the Browns, they did what they had to do. Their running backs looked great.
Yeah,
right?
their running
Hunt-
backs are going to
Hunt
be a
and Chubb
problem.
just destroyed it. Jacoby just kind of game managed that one to a
Yeah.
decent win. And
I mean, he was only
Yeah,
18 to 34, 147, 1 TD.
yeah, but at the end, got that drive to put him into field goal range, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In the game. So
Chubb went 141 yards on 22 carries.
they-
Kareem Hunt had 46 yards on 11 carries.
and a couple TDs through the air though. Cream Hunt, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he have
He had 1. He had
Okay.
1 running and 1
one
catching.
and one catching. Okay.
You know what's strange? Like now that I know definitively what Deshaun Watson's punishment is going to be, I'm weirdly looking forward to him coming back because I
Okay.
want to watch him lose.
I would.
I want to watch him get
lose.
fucking stomped. Oh god.
And yeah,
like-
now I'm cheering for the Browns every week until he comes back
Mm,
because I want Jacoby to. I want the QB controversy.
yeah,
That's what I want.
it'd be
I
so
want-
funny. It'd be so
I
funny if
want
they're
to see
undefeated.
them. I want to see
week
them
11.
I want to see them, win out or just damn near about until Deshaun comes back. And they just lose every game.
You're gonna hand
they're-
the keys
they're
to a
pushing
dude that
for
hasn't
the-
played in like 2 years.
Dude, and they're like pushing for their division, right? And I'm sure one of the last 2 games of their schedule is a division rival that they will have to beat, like the Ravens, maybe the Bengals.
That's usually the
They're
way they
like,
set it up is like 3 or
get
4 of the
Jacoby
last
back.
6 or division games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always
Yeah.
usually, a lot of times your last 2 games are, but at least one of those.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
what
Yeah,
someone.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see him.
Yeah.
When is he?
Still fuck
Because
the
he's
Browns.
allowed to come back to the training facility at like week 6.
Is he?
Like he's allowed to come back to the facility sooner.
Yeah, I thought it was like the week before.
Was it just the week before? I thought he could come back sooner. So I mean, like, how ready is he going to be
Yeah.
to even take over? I mean, if they're dog shit, yeah, you put
Especially
him
if they're,
in,
but if they're rolling with Jacoby,
yeah, if they're sitting like second place in that division with
what I mean?
with a chance for a wild card, I mean,
Yeah. Of course, Jacoby will probably have to look a little better than he did today, right? What do you
Yeah.
look like?
oh for sure, yeah.
But if they keep winning with him, and then Deshaun comes back and they just start losing because Deshaun's shit in the bed, and they are basically forced to bring back Jacoby and bench their 230 million guaranteed dollar quarterback
That'd
who
be
they
the
gave
best.
up 3 first-round picks for. It'd be fucking fantastic. I
Oh,
just
it would
want
be
that
wonderful.
very, very bad. I want to
Yeah.
see
Well,
that
and
so
I see that's probably the built-in out they have is that for them to be in any kind of like winning position when Deshaun comes back, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are going to have to play like gods.
Yeah.
And like that's your
they're
out
gonna
right
have to play
there.
like
It's like,
they
no,
did.
they're responsible for that, not Jacoby Brissett.
That's what you're gonna want to say, but look, if you win with Jacoby and Deshaun comes back and you lose, no matter how no matter how you did it, you're gonna want to bring back the other guy, the guy
Right.
that you were winning.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. Anyway,
All right, let's not talk about that anymore.
we don't need to do that.
Let's move
Enough
on
about it.
to our second tie of the day.
Second
That
time?
also result. I'm
almost
sorry,
tied.
second
Overtime.
game, which
Time.
led to our first tie. I just
Yes,
screwed
we
that up
already
really
I
have.
love opening the season with a tie.
Yeah,
We
it's great.
already have our first tie of the year.
So
Oh, I
the
love it.
Colts and Texans tied at 20.
I'm really
Listen,
upset because that was my upset of the year.
You
Oh,
almost
you
had it. You almost had it.
you
Half
were
a win.
so fucking big brained there for about an hour.
I
Dude, for
was
a
up until that
while.
fourth quarter, and then once
Dude, for the whole game, yeah, because the Texans were
I'm gonna look so
that
fucking
whole
smart.
third 3 minutes left, I was like, dude, this is starting to look sketch. I was like, this feels vintage Matt Ryan. And it almost was. I
Almost
mean,
was, yeah.
kicker
Yeah.
missed.
That's such a bad omen, I think, for your team to get a tie week 1.
Oh yeah, it's.
There's no way you're going to the playoffs.
But I think it's a worse omen for the Colts than it is for the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans got to be happy because the
They can
Texans
spin
were
this
definitely.
in a positive way. I think. I mean,
Yeah,
their locker
the
room. The
Texans.
Colts,
I know
your
I don't-
last
I
game
think
last
the
year was.
Texans are going to be more competitive than people give them credit for.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's just.
well, the only bad thing for the Texans is that you should have won this game by the time it came down. to it.
Oh,
You
I
really
got breaking news,
back into
boys.
it.
What's
Whoa.
that?
Breaking news. Sorry to cut you off. Jerry Jones expects Dak to have surgery and will be out multiple weeks.
Oh, wow.
Dak?
It's on his right hand, his throwing hand.
Yeah, so the Eagles are just going to walk that division.
Okay.
Giants looked
For
decent.
those
today.
that know,
We'll get
this
to
is
them.
Sunday night.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut everybody off, but that
No,
that's
that's
pretty breaking.
a good
That's-
cutoff.
huge.
Breaking news. I mean,
Okay.
And that game just finished not even
Well,
an hour ago.
when-
So
when this podcast
My heart
comes
stopped
out,
because your
breaking
head
news.
dropped, and I was like, "This is gonna be bad Chiefs news." And
no. I'm sorry.
We'll put that down with the.
You would have heard like an audible gasp first.
it
if
would have
was-
disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I would have just hung up and went and cried. But anyway, let's get back onto the Colts
We'll
Texans. We'll get more into Dak when we get to Dallas.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Who are we on?
Yeah,
Colts
I mean,
Texans tie-in.
I mean, what were Davis Mills' final stats? Because
Davis Mills went 23 of 37 for 240 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah, he looked really good.
Yeah,
Not
he
bad.
looked good. He just fourth quarter didn't seem like he was there yet.
Yeah.
But that'll come in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it gets to crunch time, he didn't seem to have that same thing he had earlier.
Or maybe the Colts were figuring something out there.
Yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
Colts have a good defense, so
I mean, Houston
I'm
literally
not-
scored 10 in the second and 10 in the third.
I'm trying to think, was he the most impressive year 2 quarterback this week?
Mac Jones.
How
no.
did
yeah, I think so.
Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor
no.
Lawrence, I like
Fields?
some of what I saw from him, but I also didn't like some of what I saw.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Davis Mills this week might take that crown. I
Right,
mean, we'll have
Jalen.
to see throughout.
It's hard to gauge Lance and Fields.
Yeah, because of the
Yeah.
rain game.
I'd say
Fields didn't
Fields
do
had the edge in
terrible.
that one.
Yeah.
We'll have to see as the season goes on. But yeah, this week it might be Davis Mills.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Texans are kind of quietly building something good down there.
Yeah, I think they're onto something for sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. That
As
GM.
for the Colts, I think they looked about how you expect. Matt Ryan probably could have played a little better, but
So yeah, Matt Ryan went 32 of 50, 352, a TD and an interception.
Okay, how did their run game do though?
Jonathan
Taylor
Taylor went
blew up.
31 carries for 161 yards and a touchdown.
Okay,
Ooh.
there you go.
I was sitting there and I was thinking, damn, 50 something passes for Matt Ryan at his age. They should run the ball more. And then you say 31 carries, and I was like,
There's
no,
a lot of
ran as
offensive
much as you can.
Yeah. And Jonathan Taylor got 31 carries, and the only other running back that ran the ball was Nakeem Hines, and he had 3 carries.
God damn, how many offensive plays did they run? They had to
A
have
lot.
run to 100.
And obviously a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like 90 goddamn offensive plays on
Yeah. That's
just about. Okay. All right.
wild.
50 passing attempts. And
I think
30 rushing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running that many plays and your quarterback and your running back both look that good, they only got 1 touchdown each. Like you're just, I don't know. That's your red
Well,
zone
for a lot
trouble,
of
maybe.
yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can say they were bad. They just need to score more.
Yeah.
Hopefully get more than 20 points. out.
So Indianapolis receiving their standout was Pittman Jr. He had 121 yards and a touchdown on 9 receptions.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
On the
that's
other
better.
side, Houston had Brandon
Yeah.
Cooks with 7 receptions, 82 yards.
All
but-
right.
So let's move on to Saints Falcons. Saints beating the Falcons 27-26.
New QB, same Falcons.
Yep.
Yep.
Marcus
mean-
Mariota.
They shouldn't have been in that position to win it, but they were up big and they Falconsed again.
Yeah, then Michael Thomas woke up and came back. So welcome back, Michael Thomas.
Yeah. My God, man. 2 late touchdowns to win the game.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill comes out of nowhere,
Yep.
grabs
Out of
grabs
nowhere.
a TD.
Yeah, where did this Taysom Hill guy come from?
I mean, Jameis.
Jameis
Playing well
looked
again.
all right. What was Jameis's stats? Here, Tim,
23 of 34, 269 yards and 2 TDs. No interceptions.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Would you
not
love
bad.
to see no turnovers for him?
But man, they had to they had to come back there at the end. And
Yeah.
they did. Credit to them.
They didn't do
So
anything on the ground.
Well, other than Taysom. Taysom
Yeah.
had 4 carries, 81 yards and a touchdown.
yeah, okay, that's a little bit.
Alvin Kamara
4
had
carries,
9
81
for
yards.
39, and Mark Ingram had 4 for 22. So
I think he fumbled.
let's see, fumbles. Mark Ingram had a fumble and lost it. Yep.
So
Mm.
yeah, just
Mm.
the running backs, I guess I'll say, because Taysom, I
Oh.
guess, is a tight
The
end.
tight end. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll be fine though, right?
Yeah,
They'll
they'll,
bounce
I
back. Ingram, Kamara, they'll be all right.
yeah, they'll be
One
fine.
bad week.
So you say, Michael Thomas did wake up at the end. He only had 5 receptions, 57 yards, but he had the 2
Two
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Jarvis
were-
Landry was their leader with 7 receptions, 114 yards.
Ooh,
How did
all right.
Olave do?
Olave went 3 for 41.
Not a bad.
And then after that, it drops. It goes down 7 yards,
No.
4 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard.
You know.
Yeah. Figured those top three would eat up the majority.
Juwan Johnson was number 3 with 2 for 43.
Okay.
So
Okay, they must have had a plan to really focus in and shut down Kyle Pitts, because absolutely
Yeah.
invisible.
yep,
But they
two
let
two
Cordell-
receptions for 19 yards.
Yeah.
Cordero had a solid day.
Cordero did
Yeah.
have a good one.
And Drake-
Cordero went 22 carries, 120 yards, 1 TD, and he also had 3 receptions for 16 yards.
And then I think Drake London had a pretty solid debut for him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was their leader, 5 for 74.
Hey, there you go.
So I mean,
Nice game from your rook.
Probably has
Hopefully-
something to do with it.
Yeah.
You didn't want to bring a safety down into the box and leave Kyle Pitts.
yeah.
So the running back has a good day. And I don't know who another receiving threat is on the Falcons.
Falcons
yeah,
are
just
going.
Drake London, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Falcons.
I don't know any of the other people's names really.
I think that the Falcons, they're going to be maybe a tougher team to beat than we thought, but they're still the Falcons. So
They look like a solid
They're
ground game. I mean,
very
Mariota
beatable.
to the
Yeah, I just don't think they have a ton of overwhelming talent at any time.
no.
Cordero's really about it.
Next year could be cool if they hang on to Calvin Ridley, and you're talking 2 young receivers, a young tight end, potentially one of the top quarterbacks in the draft could be there, or if
Yeah.
Mariota plays
See who
well
they
enough
get.
and earns himself more time. So
it's got to get there.
It's supposed to be a pretty quarterback heavy draft, isn't it?
yeah, heavier than last year anyway. There's supposed to be some first round prospects.
Yeah.
Like some real first rounders.
Yeah,
Whoa, Kenny Pickett slander. Goddamn.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm
Okay,
not trying to
be
trash.
ashamed.
beat out Mitch Trubisky, you know.
Yeah.
All right, let's move off that
Right.
game and go into the next one. Ravens beating the Jets 24-9.
Did I
I
don't
didn't
even
see a lot of
know.
highlights on this one. It was
Two receivers for the Ravens, Duvernay and Bateman both got touchdowns. Bateman got, I think, like a
Okay.
50-yarder.
Okay.
55, yep. And he only had 2 receptions and for 59 yards. So
Yeah, so his
Lamar looks solid.
Lamar looked like Lamar.
Lamar looked like
Lamar
They
went
handled the
17 of
Jets.
30 for 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception, and then he rushed for 17 yards, which is pretty low for Lamar.
That is,
Yeah.
But he didn't have
But
to.
he didn't need to. So
Bro,
Yeah, I
that's good. Hey man. Doesn't
Yeah.
have to do it. Don't do it.
the Jets looked
Play the
bad.
Jets. You should beat the Jets.
Jets are the Jets. Yeah, this was
Flacco-
pretty pedestrian game,
Flacco looks like the worst backup quarterback in the NFL.
man.
yeah,
That'd be a fun debate.
Flacco
hard.
37 of 59. He almost threw the ball 60 times.
What? Because they were trying to come back. The
Yeah,
whole time, but
307 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. His QBR was 15.4. Still not the lowest so
Yeah.
far this week. So
still. I mean, it didn't sound that terrible when you read a stat line. but,
No.
They say so.
rushing, the Michael Carter was really the only running that they had was 10 carries, 60 yards, no TDs.
Yeah. But man, that was a snoozer of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, Red Zone didn't even really show much of it, and I didn't really care.
I mean, yeah, Jets touchdown came in garbage time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you don't even see a game on red zone, that's how.
Yeah.
And you forget about it. Like, yeah. It's
Yeah.
'cause, yeah, it was over as it started.
Yeah, so
All right.
let's move off that snooze of a game and go into one that was actually kind of exciting to see. Jags losing to the Commanders 22-28.
Oh my god! And the only reason that game got exciting is because of Carson Wentz's ineptitude.
The
Yeah.
roller coaster of Carson Wentz play to play is
How mad are Colts fans today? Not only tied to the
that's a good
Texans,
point. That's a
but
good
they're
point.
the guy who
I didn't even think about that.
but Carson Wentz, who last they saw could not beat the Jaguars. Okay, could not do it. And then I guess this one, he wasn't in Jacksonville, so that helps.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
that
it
wasn't
comes
exactly
back
convincing.
the first game that he's away from you, he beats
And he
that
did what he
team.
could to fuck it up.
Yeah, he
did,
was
but then
trying.
he did what he could to win.
he showed all the things and all the things that made the Colts get rid of him, he showed. He had the picks,
You
the
got
shot
the full
put
Carson
6.
Wentz experience today.
Yeah, the
Right,
shot put pick.
2 interceptions in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
right? Like 2 late interceptions, but
And-
also like a huge touchdown.
A beautiful touchdown. That was a great throw.
Killing it. I mean, yeah.
You're just like,
Like-
what the fuck?
Yeah.
You saw all the flashes.
It's
of
frustrating because
Carson.
you really do see what the dude's capable of sometimes.
Yeah.
But goddamn.
You see
the
it all.
mistakes, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a great thing, man. Like you said, roller coaster ride that guy.
Yeah, he is.
You know, throwing
it's like
for
there's two
yards
different,
and
it's like there's two different
touchdowns.
dudes living in that body.
Yeah. So let's go over a few of the stats. Carson Wentz, speaking of 27 of 41, 313 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
That's a good game.
I
Overall,
mean,
that sounds like a
The
good
2
game.
interceptions aren't
Leave
great.
those
but
2 interceptions in the fourth quarter. That's really bad.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Kind of about when he threw them.
And
Yeah.
like I said, one of them was that
'Cause
where he
that's what he
shot put it
does.
into the defender.
Dude.
And then
And he's throwing them while they're up.
yeah.
Like
And that was Carson's thing. Like his stats last year don't sound that bad, but then when you look at when all the bad things happen,
Yeah,
like,
that's
well,
true.
Yeah, it's just like
You
the
know.
worst possible time to make a
But
mistake.
at the end of the game, in this game, he actually did come through.
Yeah.
Like at the very, very end when you had to fucking have it.
He did it.
Made a beautiful throw. So I don't know. Commanders pulled one out here. It's just the Jags. So what
Yeah.
do you
Trevor Lawrence on the other side went 24 of 42, 275, a TD and an interception.
you probably wanted to see more from him.
Yeah,
No, you
there
definitely
were a
want-
couple times when even like I remember Pete pointing out like a couple of bad throws that he made, but then he made a couple of really good
Yeah.
ones.
some ones? Yeah.
I'd really
Give
like
it
to
some
see.
time.
I'd
Yeah.
really like to see him have a no interception game because he did lead.
Still,
Him and
I think
Stafford led the league with picks last year, and
Yeah,
at
this
least
is
he's
an
not tied for.
offense that's still gelling. It's one that's gonna take a little bit of time.
I say
No.
give him a week 6 and let's
Okay.
see what he's doing.
Yeah,
you know?
Christian Kirk had
Yeah.
a solid debut for Jacksonville.
Yeah, 6
Nothing
receptions,
terrible.
117 yards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So-
I don't know if I love the way they're doing it down there in Jacksonville. I don't like starting with the quarterback. Like I understand like why they took him.
they got
But
some.
They're starting with the quarterback and then building everything else around him. So I mean,
Well, that's what most
if you
teams
can
do.
keep him healthy and not
Mm.
fucking discouraged by losing
So
for
they had
the
already
2 or 3 years, but
acquired a fairly decent collection of offensive linemen. It's not like the best offensive line, but it's definitely not what Miami was running out there last year or what we saw from Cincinnati and the Rams. I think they got some young promise. They at least got a young left tackle on there and a couple other pieces. And they were able to, they had multiple first round picks when they got Lawrence. So they were able to get him and Etnine in the same draft, who had a horrendous day.
Yeah, he had 4
that's true.
carries
Yeah, we
for
can't get
47
them.
yards.
He had a couple good, but he on the receiving end of it, he was awful.
Oh yeah, 2 for 18.
And he had a fumble.
One fumble.
On one of those catches. So
Not the best.
He didn't lose it though.
yeah, but that ball went whoop.
Yeah. So
Well, yeah, so
so maybe
Jack's
just
got
a
some
little
work to
more to be
do.
desired on the defensive side of the ball.
well, I mean, they have Josh Allen, who's decent, and then they got Trayvon Walker, first overall pick this year, who had a big play today.
yeah.
One of the interceptions of Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he got into the end zone, but he had a good return on it.
And
It's-
the Jags
sorry.
it's week 1. Let's give the
Yeah.
Jags some time. Still
Yeah.
a whole new regime, a lot of new players.
Don't
Not
hate.
a lot to get over from last year.
Yeah,
Well,
they do have a long ways to go, and they need their receiving core is, you're looking Christian Kirk's the best option. It's
Yeah, I mean, it may be a bunch of guys who need to learn how to win.
yeah, because they have some
Tough.
talent there that I like James Robinson's a good running back.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good day,
Yeah.
so it's just about getting it all together.
Yeah, I mean, it was within their grasp for sure.
Yeah.
Today.
Anyways,
Let's go on to the next
the
one. We
Tommies and
had one
Jags.
that I don't think anyone except for Sneaky saw coming because this is who he picked. I don't know that he saw this big of a differential in scores, but the Packers lost to the Vikings 7-23.
That offense looked bad. I mean,
Yeah.
woo, that looked bad. Now their
Yeah,
offense looked bad week one of last year too.
Underestimated this year.
What's that?
So I think the
It's-
Vikings are a little underestimated this year, and
Until it comes to a big game, and then
Aaron Rodgers
Kirk Cousins
isn't
takes
always
over.
great week one.
He's not. Yeah, I think this is one of the week one flukes, right? Like week one is weird, and this might be one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Might
they
be,
lost.
but-
They lost week one last year too, and
No,
he
they
ended up
did. They
with MVP.
won. They won week one last year, but it was 10-0 to the Bears, so they didn't look great.
Yeah.
Pretty- Yeah, so like their offense didn't look great. Their defense did, but yeah, last. So yeah, Aaron didn't look good. The only concerning thing is like, it didn't look like any like the wide receivers
I was gonna say their wide receivers.
were not getting open.
Their leading receiver was AJ Dillon with 46 yards.
Yeah, Christian Watson, I think, had the pace to the wide receivers in yardage
Yeah,
with 2 catches and 30-something yards.
34. Mhm.
I was like, it was.
Randall Cobb had 2 for 14, and Sammy had 3 for 18.
Yeah, which he had only had 3 targets. We wheeled in all of his targets. So
Yeah,
it's a
You're still learning. You're still trying to come
Yeah.
together and gel, but man, didn't look. It was a bad start. Bad start. but
promising
it's week
start
one.
from Watson for him, I'd say.
You,
so
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was 22 of 34, 195 yards, 1 interception, 1 fumble with a QBR of 16.1. Jordan Love came in the game, went 4 for 5, 65 yards with a 72.8 QBR.
I mean, look, you're playing
New
it's the end of the
quarterback?
game. De-
No, I'm just kidding.
Prevent defense.
I
it's
know.
the
I'm
end of the
just
game.
I just had to bring it up.
You know,
But
and
no, it just when the conversation with Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes this offseason was, what are you going to do without your top wide receiver? You know, for the past few years now.
And somebody made it count and somebody didn't. But we'll
And,
get
yeah,
there.
But one team also did a much better job of bringing in talent.
That's true.
than
That
the
is true.
other.
yeah,
But
Like,
look at
we stole
Aaron
one of
Rodgers'
their
whole
guys.
career. Like they've never really done much to help him out.
but yeah, I know, right? He's
Yeah,
So-
I mean, they
how good
Criminal.
was Jordy Nelson really? We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he did go play for the Raiders.
And what did he do there?
Nothing. So on the other side of the ball, Minnesota, we had Kirk went 23 for 32, 277 and 2 TDs. Dalvin Cook looked pretty good running the ball with 90 yards. I mean, on 20 carries, which 4.5 average isn't bad.
That's good.
Uh,
That's still that's very good.
Jay Jettas, 9 receptions, 184 yards, 2 TDs. I also saw after the game, Aaron Rodgers said that Jay Jettas is the best player in football right now. So
that
he's
dude was a monster.
fucking freak.
yeah,
He was very impressive today, right off the bat.
Insane.
I mean,
Aaron
he
Rodgers
looks
is like,
great.
get that guy over to me.
Well,
Yeah.
and the amount of times that like we saw him just wide open, like it wasn't even they weren't hard catches that he was making. It was just pitch and catch because there was nobody near him at times.
He's just
Two of
breaking
his-
open.
2 of his biggest gains, he was left wide the fuck open, and I'm like, how is that not the guy that is drawing
Just
all of your
doubled
attention?
every time.
Right.
Yeah, doubled
Like-
every time. You should.
I mean,
make
I
it.
mean,
know.
you also have to worry about Thielen, but
Adam
Thielen
Thielen
only went
okay.
3 for 36.
At this
So,
stage, I'll let Thielen go off, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna let J Jets.
yeah,
Hell
put
no,
2
man.
guys on him.
Yeah, I'm not getting J Jetted to death.
He
I'm
did.
not going to see the
Yeah.
gritty that many times in one
They
day.
got torn the fuck apart.
Yeah, absolutely monster of a day. I'm glad that Howie didn't draft him though.
Justin.
I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't want one of the best,
You
if
wouldn't
not
have
the
AJ
best
Brown now.
wide receiver right
Yeah,
now.
I
on
mean,
your
then you
team.
wouldn't have a 5th and a 6th round pick.
Yeah, true. You know, I mean, take the good with the bad. It's the facts
Yeah.
of life. But
But hey, man.
What a boring game, though. Like,
Kind of. Yeah,
Vikings
just
jumped
'cause
on
it
'em.
was
That's got to burn.
one-handed and
Every
Yeah.
time you see that dude succeed.
I mean,
So bad.
if you really
And
think about
DK.
it too, it's like, Green Bay got dominated that whole game, but there was so little scoring in the game. Minnesota scored like spread out their scoring. It was 7 in the first, 10 in the second, 3 and 3.
Yeah,
so like
they didn't need to do too much because their defense was
Their defense,
absolutely.
that's the only reason I
dominating.
say that it was boring though, because there was very little scoring.
their
But
defense was
it's
smacking
out.
around out there.
Oh
Aaron
yeah,
How many times did Aaron Rodgers get sacked in that game?
Aaron Rodgers. See.
He was getting run over. It felt like
He only got sacked 4 times.
only 4 times.
On that note, let's move to the next crazy. I mean, you have to be on a trip to do what the Giants did.
Talking about the balls on Brian DeBall.
Yeah, 21-20 against the Titans.
The Titans, you're gonna lose to the Giants
Because the Giants are gonna go out there and they're gonna send a message. They sent a message today.
Yeah.
That is what honestly
Daniel Jones is hot trash.
Well, he is, but Brian DeBall sent a message saying if we are
win.
ever in the position to where we can win a game or tie a game or go to overtime, we're gonna go try to win that fucking game.
Yeah, because we're gonna lose it in overtime if we don't.
With Danny Dimes as your quarterback.
Yeah.
It's so with the guy who threw an interception in the 4th quarter and you thought it was done, and then what do you know?
What do you know?
Where's
Dude,
Tannehill? What did Tannehill
With
do?
Dable in his face after that interception too. That was so. Oh,
He was mad.
Put some
Saquon
fire in his
played great though. Saquon Barkley went off.
Yeah, 18 carries, 164 yards, 1 TD.
Yeah,
showing that promise that he had coming out of college.
Yeah. Speaking of Danny Dimes went 17-21. So
it's not a bad day.
Okay.
188 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception.
That interception was ugly, but that was a good day.
Yards
he's just another one who's not doing anything exciting out there.
No, he's not I'm not excited if I'm the Giants based on that. But
and might trip over his own feet.
Yeah. My favorite play of Danny Dimes' career.
He won you the game today.
Yeah.
That's what I'll tell you.
So on the other side, Ryan Tannehill went 20 of 33, 266, 2 TDs, no interceptions. And Derrick Henry ran the ball 21 times for 82 yards, no TDs.
Yeah, I feel like the Giants defense or anybody's defense now is just going to key in on Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, they shredded their receiver.
They don't have anybody to throw to, so let's just worry about the king,
They got Bobby Trees, but
you're okay with Ryan Tannehill's 250 yards throwing.
And Robert Woods only 1 for 13. 1 for 13 yards. Their leading receiver was Kyle Phillips. Never heard of him. 6 receptions, 66 yards.
How did Burks do?
3 for 55. Dontrell Hilliard he had the second most for yards. He went 3 for 61, but he had the 2 TDs thrown by Tannehill.
Yeah.
So they only threw they only had 2 touchdowns and then 2 field goals.
What a game too, because
nobody in the South and the AFC South won a game today.
Nope.
Despite 2 of them playing.
What a division.
Yeah, so funny.
Like I said, that division is the AFC division to watch for a worst to first jump, just because it's not a good division.
No.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a shootout all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not sitting there praising the bottom 2 teams. I'm talking crap on the top 2.
Top 2, right? It's
bad
bad all around.
You might see the Texans win 10 games.
Maybe, but you could also see a losing record get to the playoffs.
Can you put that down right now? That Sneaky thinks the Texans are going to win 10 games.
No,
yeah, that's negative
no.
10 points.
I think that.
That's a negative point for every win he thought.
Like I said, I would almost be more willing to put money on this division has a sub 500 representative in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a week 1 overreaction.
Week 1 overreaction. Weird things happen in week 1.
Yeah.
This could be just one of them, and the Titans could be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So.
All right, let's move to the next game in our division. The Raiders losing to the Chargers 24-19.
How you feel about your quarterback, Devontae? That's the guy you wanted to go play with real bad.
Uninspiring.
I mean, Devontae got what he wanted.
Yeah, he ate
141 yards.
Got what he wanted.
So
Nobody else did.
Yeah. Well,
Raiders
I mean, Darren Waller still had 79 yards.
Waller
It's not
came on
terrible.
late.
No.
How much did they just pay him yesterday?
How did Renfro do?
Renfro had 3 receptions, 21 yards.
Eesh.
Yeah.
I
Which you know
Nothing
from
great.
a team with those 3, you would think the ball would be spread a little more. But
They became
the guy you just paid,
the
Devontae
he
demands
did
that
his
ball.
job. So
the
So he
Raiders
didn't do
offense
that.
has become a dollar store version of the Chiefs offense from 2 years.
So
Yeah,
okay,
I
let's
mean, they've
let's
always
just
been
show
kind of
this.
flash
Devontae
it.
Adams had 17 targets. The next highest was Darren Waller with 6.
seems about right.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
And everybody's going to know that that's the plan.
Neither
Well,
of
I mean,
those.
did they not see the Packers use that game plan in the playoffs last year and it did not work? They're like, oh,
Right.
you're gonna throw it to Devontae every single time. Great.
Josh
We'll
McDaniels
lock that down.
thinks he's smarter than everybody else in the league. So
You know what,
that's-
I hate the Raiders and I don't want to help them, but I'm gonna email Josh McDaniels and give him a real good tip to just put some road cones out there as offensive linemen because they're gonna stop more than those other dudes did today. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
yeah, Derek Carr was
that
sacked
offensive line
5
is gonna get their
times.
quarterback killed.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Hey.
But hey, dude, the Chargers have. I mean, look at the Chargers line. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean they're
It's gonna
not
be tough to
exactly
stop.
slouches in the pass rush, but
Yeah, like that's
a
gonna
lot of
be
teams have
tough,
good pass
dude.
rush
You know,
now,
Mac,
especially in our division.
Bosa
Yeah.
and Mac, like
Yeah,
Dude,
Mac had 3 sacks. Bosa had 1.5.
that one
Jesus.
freaking end around that they ran to Devontae Adams where
Oh my
they
God.
had Derek Carr trying to block Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa deserves a medal for restraint and not because he could have and should have murdered Derek Carr on that play.
Yeah.
He elected not
Yeah.
to.
So,
He said,
like,
I like this dude. I'm a nice guy. I'm not gonna kill him, but I'm
not gonna. I'm not
Joey
gonna end
Joey
his
Bosa's a
career.
good dude.
yeah, Joey Bosa, you get the sportsmanship award of the week
Yeah.
from Beyond Sports.
You would
Congratulations.
have been well within your right to
To just
fucking
end
obliterate that
whole
man.
That was
man's
your
career.
moment. Like that's what a lot of those D linemen look forward to their whole
Oh,
career.
yeah. Let me
The
just
time when
smash the shit
when a
out of
quarterback tries to lay a block on
Yeah,
them.
you could have killed a man on the field today, and you chose not to.
Steve. You did not choose violence. Good on
Good for you.
Within the rules of the game, you could have killed a man.
you.
Yeah. So on the other side of the
died, but no
ball,
Jesus Christ.
Herbert went 26 of 34, 279 yards and 3 TDs. Their running game wasn't much to
bad.
be desired for. Austin
good.
Eckler was their leader with 14 carries, 36 yards, no TDs.
Yeah, those dudes aren't
And they spread the ball out receiving wise. Their highest was 4 receptions for 66 yards to Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
there.
So
They're a
I
scary
mean, they
team.
really
They're fright-
spread
they're
the
frightened.
ball
I'm-
out too.
They've built
I
a
am
good
definitely frightened to play.
They had nine
the
different
Chargers.
receivers catch a ball today. So
Yeah, I mean the Chargers don't look a ton different than they did last year, except for that defensive line is just going to be.
team. And second,
I'm terrified of it. We'll see what happens.
Thursday-
we'll find out Thursday.
Thursday's a real good measuring stick for them, I think.
It's a
Yeah.
good measuring stick for us too.
For us too, I think that I'm excited for that game.
He's still going to be.
Hey, I'm gonna be there, boys.
You are.
I am excited.
I
All
didn't
right,
come
man.
away too terrified of either team
No,
today, but
but you know,
Well,
anytime
Chargers-
an AFC West team plays an AFC West team,
Yeah,
most of the
any
time
divisional games.
That might be a 100-point game. Like there might be 100 points between the two teams.
it might.
hope our
It
defense
could
is
also be
better
a
than that, man.
30-point game.
yeah.
You know, I could see it going either way. So
I don't see those two quarterbacks being held down.
I mean,
I'm
I
hoping
don't
that
know,
our
it's not like
defense.
they scored a ton today, right?
Slow 'em.
So
Yeah, they did.
since we're talking about our defense, let's just move on to the next game. The Chiefs defeat the Cards 44-21.
And it wasn't even that close. I mean,
No.
that's 14
Yawn,
points.
boring game. Move on.
The guy,
Yeah. Boring
good
game.
lord.
I
It
mean,
was
what? Hey,
done
what are we
by
supposed to do
half.
without Tyreek, boys? I don't know. Patrick Mahomes go 30 for 39, 360 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, to how many different receivers?
Oh,
Man, I don't know. I'm still worried, guys.
5 touchdowns to 4 different receivers for the
There's-
touchdowns, and then
yeah.
There's
he hit,
literally
like
nothing
8
to
or 9
complain about
targets.
today.
We had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different people catch the ball and 10 that were targeted. Watson was the only one that didn't make a catch, and he also was somehow injured at some point because he's on the injury list right now.
Probably from the special teams.
Something to do with the chest, I think they said.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, and I mean, Mahomes did that with a left hand injury. Hand wrist. Butker hurt his plant foot.
Yeah, basically he planted on his ankle
on his first kick off of the day. So Justin Reed having to hit an extra point and handle kickoff duties, and he did a good job on kickoffs.
Yeah,
great job there.
Went 1 for 2 on extra points, which was cool.
Hey, for a safety.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I think he should have. I don't know why we didn't let him, kind of continue out when we had the lead.
Because he missed that one
game. Yeah. I know, but
he only got the second one because he made the first one.
Hey, Butker, sometimes, he if you go into a game and we kick 4 of them, Butker is probably going to miss one.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Butker miss extra points every now and then. I would have said.
I'm not knocking it, dude. I'm not.
I mean, I'm glad we let Butker do that 54-yarder, but on a lot of those extra point attempts, I was like, don't get that guy out there on his fucking swollen ass ankle. Like
doing a 1-step
54-yarder. That was
that is incredible.
Kick.
One step, yeah, that's insane.
1-step kick.
One step to kick the ball 54 yards.
And it had plenty of distance. It looked like the damn thing was gone at 64. Like,
yeah.
Holy shit.
So
Thornhill had a good day on the defensive side.
Yeah. So Mahomes left the game in the fourth quarter when we were up a lot. Penny came out and did not even attempt to throw the ball once. He was handing the ball to Pacheco and McKinnon. The rest of that game.
Yeah, all 3 of the running backs looked great.
Yeah, running backs look good today.
Pacheco, because of it looked like more of the starter once Henny came out. He went 12 carries, 62 yards, 1 TD. Clyde had 7 carries for 42 yards, and McKinnon had 4 for 22.
But I mean, Clyde had a couple of passing TDs. Like,
Clyde
looked good today.
Didn't Jarek have a reception or 2?
Jarek had he had 3 receptions, 27 yards. I'll go through our running backs here. Clyde went 3 for 32 yards, and Isaiah wasn't targeted.
But hey, man,
it's kind of weird because it seemed like Clyde disappeared after the second touchdown.
Yeah.
I think we were just.
But I think that was just spreading the ball.
I just think this is one of the more balanced attacks we'll see in the NFL this season.
Yeah.
Well, I think I don't want to call it too early because it's a weekend, but I think what they're trying to do is they give you a look and the Chiefs are going to give you a look, have success with it, and then switch out of it and show you something completely different with different personnel.
Yeah.
And have you be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I mean, they throw the 3 tight ends.
And they have the depth, the talent, enough talent in the depth in the second and third string to do that.
Yeah.
We have so many weapons.
This team is scary as fuck. Like the possibilities for this team are scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I mean, it's true. You don't have that number 1 receiver guy out there because you got a Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Speaking of 8 receptions, 121 yards and 1 touchdown.
Very quietly. Very quietly.
Yeah, Travis Kelce. You have a number 1 receiver. You have that guy.
Yeah. Juju was our second with 6 receptions, 79 yards, and then it drops down to 44 yards with MVS.
Yeah,
but that's how it's going to go.
More when he runs.
That's going to go. Kelsey,
Juju. On the other side of the ball, we had Kyler went 22 of 33, 193 yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions. And he was also their leading rusher with 5 carries, 29 yards.
Yeah,
they hit that iPad.
They couldn't get that run game going, which for a Chiefs defense.
They gave up on the run game after they were down.
That's true. That is true.
3 scores. Like you abandon the run game at that point.
Yeah, but it's good to see. I thought the tackling was majorly improved on the Chiefs.
Oh,
defense.
Definitely.
Tackling.
We never let Kyler get loose.
Yeah.
We contained him really well. Yeah,
contained and wrapped him. 1 or 2 good plays like that, but we contained great.
Yeah.
We closed and we finished in the man.
I like.
We looked pretty flawless, just all around. Like we
Yeah,
didn't.
Mahomes didn't get sacked once.
Yeah, we had a
Kyler
good
got
rotation
sacked twice.
on the D line. D
And
line rotated really well. It stayed fresh. So
Yeah, Arizona blitzed on 52% of
idiots.
on of
We're
their
not going to see
plays.
that against the Chargers. The Chargers are not going to blitz at
They're
all.
just
they're
gonna
not
sit
going
in
to
the
feel the
D
pressure
line.
to blitz. They
don't
They don't
need
need to. Yeah, they don't need
got
to.
Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. They're going to hope they can get home against our line, but our line looked good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trey
Gotta
Smith
keep
had a banged
have
up
to-
ankle.
I think
Keep an
they
extra
should just
guy
have
in.
Creed
Yeah.
Humphrey just take on both of those two by himself.
Mahomes took the stats say Mahomes took 6 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He did. He was taking some hits.
It felt like
which is how he hurt his hand or his
Yeah.
wrst.
He was definitely taking some hits.
Some of those hits
but
he was taking were pretty hard, but I mean,
Yeah.
he was getting blitzed and getting the ball out of there, and he threw 4 touchdowns against that.
and
blitz.
throwing dimes on
Oh,
the
God,
on those
yeah.
blitzes. Like
Why would you do that?
Right.
They
The
learned-
coach your college coach.
I
No.
know. And the NFL learned pretty early on not to blitz Mahomes. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy's incredible against the blitz. Do not do it. He will torch you.
All right, boys. So moving on, we'll go into tonight's night game. The Bucks beating the Cowboys 19-3 in a snooze fest.
God, the Cowboys look bad.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, the first half was who can kick the ball the most.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and now we know
Suck up putting up crazy points. Yeah, so I got that story pulled up here. So they're saying that he will be out several weeks due to an injury to his thumb that requires surgery. Jerry Jones has said after the
Which
loss.
thumb?
his
Right.
throwing hand.
It's on his
Right
throwing hand. So
Yeah.
right hand. He was hit by Bucks outside linebacker Shaq Barrett and did not return.
So the Cowboys are going to be bad.
It's definitely a fracture. It says that he had
Aren't we-
suffered a fracture. So
That's some.
Weren't we
he's out
talking
for-
about how they didn't have a goddamn backup quarterback?
they did
they-
finally get one.
They brought Cooper Rush back, but they had cut out
Rush.
their backups.
So I guess they're going to be looking for another one because something happens to him.
Yeah.
CD Lamb go in and throw to himself.
Cam
Yeah,
Newton
I mean,
maybe has an opportunity now, but
the Bucks look all right. I guess they didn't
I
look
don't
like
want that.
I mean, okay, so Tom went
Tom looked
18 of
fine.
27, 212 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Dak went 14 of 29, 134, 1 interception, no touchdowns.
Yeah, Dak wasn't looking good.
Leonard
and-
Fournette-
Cowboys
and
look
really-
bad.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette was a beast.
Leonard Fournette had 21 carries for 127 yards.
He had a great day. The Cowboys receiving core, they're really sitting there waiting
It's-
for Michael Gallup and James Washington. And
Yeah. I mean,
they were dreadful.
Noah
Outside.
Brown
Yeah,
was their
not good.
leader. 5
Yeah.
receptions, 68 yards.
But look at how many targets he had. I mean,
9,
I say he was getting targeted a bunch and not coming down with the ball.
CD was worse. He had 2 receptions on 11 targets for 29 yards.
A lot of his was due to being
Wow,
covered.
I didn't know that.
He
CeeDee
was
Lamb did that.
there was a lot of times when CD was targeted that it bounced off defenders' backs and stuff like that. From what I saw, he was targeted a lot, but there was not a lot of openings.
Yeah.
Well, if
So,
you are a receiver, part of
receiving
your
for
job is to get
Tampa,
open.
Mike Evans was their leader, 5 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown.
because
Julio-
Mike
That dude had a
Evans,
savage touchdown.
Yeah.
because Mike Evans
Godwin-
always does Mike Evans things, no matter what.
Godwin returned and had a solid day, but
Yeah.
he left with injury. They said they think a hamstring, hopefully.
Yeah. 3 receptions, 35 yards. Julio was their second with 3 for 69.
And
Nice.
Hey, Julio, 69, nice.
he had like a really big.
Julio
48
had a great catch.
48 yarder. Yep, was his
Yeah.
long.
There you go. Hey,
Yeah, hopefully Godwin didn't hurt his
Julio.
knee. I'm hoping because
Hmm.
he tore that ACL and MCL week 15, and he
Yeah.
started week 1 the following year. That's
It's kind of a little scary. Like-
amazing that he was able to get
Yeah,
medically cleared. And
Mhm.
but
incredible.
they pointed out today was the first day in which he was taking any contact. So I'm sure.
A little scary.
Yeah.
And probably limited out there on his reps.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think the
hoping
Bucks will be. They seem like they'll be okay. They're. I mean,
Seemed
they
a little-
didn't look terrifying. You know,
they
their
looked out of
offense-
rhythm, I'd say.
Yeah. For sure.
But
But
Week
I mean, a
one,
lot of
again.
teams did this week.
yeah,
It's week one. It's week one, guys.
looked like their quarterback took an
Okay.
11-day break.
Yeah.
So, but I honestly am not worried that they'll be fine.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on
All
to
right,
the
so yeah, let's move off of today's games. Hey everybody, I'm cutting in here. Excuse the noise. I've got a 3D printer going in the background and don't want to pause it. I'm cutting in because I'm cutting this episode into 2 parts. This will be part 1 where we talk all football. Part 2 will be out probably Wednesday morning. I'll finish editing it Tuesday night. This part's all the games from football, and the next part will be our pick totals from week 1 and our new picks for week 2. And we do talk just a short amount of baseball. And yeah, look out for that Wednesday morning. Leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that Sam bell. You know the deal. Yeah, we'll see you, I guess, Wednesday morning. But after that, we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.